some diesel leaks, and one of them was this pipe connection here down to this return line, and it had been used, it was held on with this, and I think this was the part of the problem. It's very oily, and all the leaking seemed to be starting at this point and going on down the tractor. So I'm pretty sure that's either not stock, like maybe it was supposed to be originally crimped on like these others here. I don't know. Maybe it just broke so I put a hose there. That's problem number one. I think that's where the leak was. The second thing I can't figure out is right here, this fitting. This looks like it should be a compression fitting of some kind. There's a little tube in the middle that comes up that this plastic piece fits down on top of, but I mean, that's not, oops, hold on. Tightening that nut does nothing, because I think it's missing the compression washer. Can you see that? Here, I'll put my hand on, here you go, ready? That's going up and down, that's not sealing at all. So if I loosen this nut, like I said, there's just a plastic tube that goes down on top of the little nipple. That's it. There's nothing to compress it or hold it. So I've seen fittings like this before on like metal lines where you have a compression fitting that goes around it and that squeezes down on it. But I don't know if it's stock or what's going on here, but obviously it's not a bad leak because it's not really under pressure. It's like it goes back to the tank, I think. But there's enough pressure going through all this plumbing, and then also can drain back. So it's not a good thing. I need to get that fixed. So if anybody knows what's going on there, let me know. I'm gonna maybe just try to get a couple compression fittings. It looks like about 1/4 inch, and see if that does anything. I'll put it in there over that piece of plastic pipe. Again, I'm not really checked out on this kind of stuff, so I don't know that much about it. But yeah, it was all really soaking wet right here. Seemed to be the genesis of the problem, right where that hose was. So we got that taken care of. I've also rewired the alternator. It's just a hodgepodge of wiring right now. I didn't want to make anything finalized, so I had it all figured out completely. So I'll go back and redo all this now that I know it's charging. I tried, like, this connector's blown out. It's all burned up. It needs to be replaced. There's supposed to be a connector here, a 4-pin connector, of which I think I'm using 3 of the 4 pins. I think one's a headlight or something like that. And I got the wrong, I connected up the voltage regulator with 2 individuals. It's supposed to be a 4-piece square plug there, but I only had these things that came with it, so they're not color coded or anything, so I'll probably put a silver mark on it so I know which side to plug into which. But all that needs to be redone now that I know that the alternator is working. I wasn't sure if this regulator was any good. It was number one thing, but it is. So I replaced the alternator with the correct. I don't know what was going on before. Yeah, it's kind of funky. I'll show you what I had before. So here's the alternator. I'm not sure what this plug goes to. It looks like a purple and maybe green, or purple and blue. I'm going to try to trace this out on a wire chart. I couldn't figure out where that goes to. This is the regulator. This goes back to the regulator and to the charge light indicator. That's obviously your power out. Here's the regulator. That's the ground over here. It's a ground. And that just clips onto the screw. So it seems like it was designed, all these things, the only thing that didn't match up was this one. That was a spade connector. It really needed I didn't have it at the time. I need to get an eyelet for this and convert that to a spade, or just put an eyelet on that. I don't know which I'll do. I'll probably just put a converter, a spade, an eyelet to spade, to a female spade here, to make that just as factory as I can make it. But it works great. It starts right up and puts out 13.75 volts at idle, so we're all good to go there. Again, though, I'm not sure what this wire goes to. It seems awfully short back here. It's not the thermostat, because that's that green wire right there that goes back to the temperature sensor. It's not the oil sensor, because that goes down here. And again, I think it's a purple. It's hard to say. The colors kind of change on you. Purple and green or purple and blue. So if we look at the wire chart, it's going down near the alternator. Not that that's going to do any good. Purple, what I say it was, purple and green. No. Purple and yellow. 24 is the air cleaner vacuum switch. That's 26. 26 is the oil pressure switch. Okay, so it's not 26. That's the purple one. The only one that's multicolored come down out of this wire harness looks like it might be this blue and yellow. That says, is that blue and yellow? I think that's a UY. Blue and yellow. Not blue and yellow? Does that look any like all like blue and yellow? No. Definitely not blue and yellow. Purple is P. I just don't see any P on here anywhere. Maybe it's over on this side. Why are they giving me a reference to something that's not here? See, I thought it might be something up in here. Purple is this P. Nope. Nope. U. Did I say blue? Blue and red. Blue and red? No. Green? Nope. That's the water temperature sensor. That's the alternator's all hooked up like it should be. The only one that looks like it could maybe, what's this N and R? That's brown. What's 30? What is 20? What's 23? Manifold here. No, I don't think that's it. That'd be brown and red. I doubt that's it. Something in yellow. But there's no yellow. There's no way that could be construed as yellow. And when I trace that back, I don't think I ever even found it where it came out up here. Let's go back over on this side. Yeah, I was having a hard time finding where it popped out over here. Well, what's this? No, that's a brown. That's a starter. Here, what's this? What's this? Whoa, 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 whoa. What is this? That could be it. I don't know what this goes to. Well, according to this thing, it goes to one of the brown connections. Wait. Green and red, is that right? I see all the colors have changed, so it's hard to read this, but that looks like it's going back to something on this side that says green and red. So let's just see if there's a green and red on the 4-pin connector. No, unless it's this. What is 20, what is 2? That's lights? Light switch. Light switch. I wonder if that could go into some kind of a headlight maybe. That's possible. Because it doesn't show where the headlights are hooked up here. Is 35 a headlight? Headlight, right. And it doesn't give me yeah, I'll bet you that's what that is. I'll bet you that's some kind of goofy headlight setup. Okay, anyway, so I'm not gonna worry about the headlights at this point. I guess the headlight switch is broken over here. I think it's right here. So if at some point I can figure that out, I'll deal with it. But right now it's charging. Like I said, the only issue I have is a bad diesel leak. And that's it. There's no oil or any other kind of leaks. Let's see if this thing's getting damp again. Yeah. I've got the fuel shut up right now. I hit it with brake clean. So it used to just pool up right here. I mean, it was pooling with diesel right there. Right around this injector. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of connections these are. This is some kind of hard plastic that just goes onto like a ribbed connector, but this one's not ribbed, not in the same way. That's why I don't assume that that's supposed to be a press-on. I assume that's correct to have some kind of a fitting, but again, I'm just not checked out. See how that one has a kind of a ribbed fitting where it goes into, but there's no way that's going to fit over that. Oh, you see that? See that diesel coming out right there? Yeah, I think it was coming out of that. So anyhow, off to the hardware store, see what I can find. But I'm making a lot of progress getting all the wiring straightened out. Like I said, when I get this fixed up, I'm probably going to just pull this whole wire harness, strip it all the way back, and just redo all that because I hate it the way it is. But I just had to get the alternator working, and I had to make sure that I understood the wiring, how it was hooked up. I can reverse engineer this now with proper connectors now that I know how everything connects and that it all starts and all the indicators are working. That was my biggest problem because, you know, when you're reading those wire diagrams, the colors don't always seem to match up very well. There's been a lot of hackery going on in here, so some of the wires were cut and I wasn't sure what colors they were, you know, like they convert from one way back in the harness, so it's cut and chopped and added on, so. And, you know, the wrong kind of connectors were used all over the place, so. Like I said, a lot of hackery, but it needs a 6-pin and a 4-pin. That'll clean everything up, and it'll give me an option for hooking the headlights up in the future, which I probably will do. And I'll bet you that's what that is. I'll bet you there's a wire harness connection that plugs into. I wish I could check that somehow. Oh well. Anyway, all right, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Bye.